to today to talk to you about iron in an episode I'm calling Fe-Nominal Science. That's right, we're going to talk about iron. No, not that kind of iron. Well, maybe later. But first up, I'm going to show you some really cool things that you can do with iron in the form of making magnetized items. That's right, we are going to have a super cool time. So strap on that seatbelt because we are going for a ride. Okay, first up, why am I calling it Fe-Nominal? Well, if you look at the periodic table of elements, you know, that whole little thing, that little chart, it has everything listed. And when it's talking about iron, this is what you see. You see the Fe as the symbol for iron. Well, why in the world do they do that? Why not be I or IR? Well, here's the thing. Fe comes from the Latin word for iron, which is ferrum. Okay, now that makes sense, doesn't it? Fe, ferrum, we know it as straight up iron. Okay, so now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk about magnetic field. Because when I think of iron, I think of things that are magnetic because iron shavings, those are magnetic, right? When you see things that have magnets, you're really seeing a lot of iron qualities going on there. So let's talk magnetic field. Okay, a magnetic field is the area around a magnet, the region around a magnet in which that magnet can pull items in to be attracted to magnetize to. Okay, so I've got some paper clips I'm going to put out here. And I've got a magnet. Now, the magnetic field for this particular magnet will be the area in which it can draw up these paper clips and attach to the magnet. Let's see what we find. Ooh, that's got a pretty strong magnetic field, doesn't it? They've got a lot of them. And if you look, these down here, they're not attached to the magnet. No, but the electrical current, the charge that's going on here is creating a magnet through each one of those paper clips. So they are still, look at that, I can pull those off. They're not really on the magnet, but it still has pull on it. Okay, so that's the magnetic field of this magnet. Let's try one of these. That still has a pretty good magnetic field. Okay, it's still going in. Probably not quite as much as the other one, but it still did a pretty good job. How about, oh, look at these. Now you might think, that's going to have a lot. But as you can see, its magnetic field isn't near as strong as those other magnets. Even though it is a magnet, it doesn't have as strong of a pull. Look at these. These are hematite. Aren't those really cool? And they're super shiny. Pretty good, right? What if I use my whole stack? Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, is that not a cool sculpture or what? That's amazing. These guys have a really good magnetic field. Okay, so now that we know the magnetic field is the area in which those magnets can draw things to them, let's think about a timer. You know, a sand timer, right? You turn it out, it falls through. That's what a timer is supposed to do, right? It tells you how long it's going to take for it to get through there. But there's something really special about this particular timer. That's not sand in there. Nope. That's iron shavings in there. Little bitty particles of iron. Okay, so what do you think that'll do if I put it on a magnetic field? Watch. Here's its stand. Inside there, you see there's that little silver part? That's a really super strong, one of those rare earth magnets, those neodymium magnets. Okay, so watch this. It's got a couple things going on here. It's got the regular gravity pulling it down, okay, through the little hole. And that magnet on the bottom is creating a really cool sculpture on it. Okay, so it's pulling it and it's got the magnetic field. It's not spreading out all over the base of this timer. It's not. It's drawing right to the magnet and it's building up. Really, really cool. Let me show you. See that sculpture it's making in there? That's because the magnetic field, now watch if I pull it off. Oh, now it's all sad and flat. Ah, there it goes building again. That's really cool. That's the magnetic field, okay? So it's pulling with the iron particles and it's just going to continue to pull there. Okay, now something else. It's called ferrofluid. Remember, Fe, iron. Okay, we're talking about iron fluid. Yeah, so what I've got here, now this stuff is super messy. So, nope, we're taking off this jacket. I don't want to get it all messed up. I'm not that crazy. Just a little bit. Okay, so what we've got here, I'm going to use a tray just in case I make a little bit of a mess. All right, I've got a magnet, got a little plastic tray. You can use lids, whatever. All right, and then I've got this stuff. It's called ferrofluid. So it's that liquid iron. Okay, so it's the little nanoscopic, super, super teeny tiny particles of iron shavings, and it's mixed into an oil. Okay, so whenever it is just out on its own, it's a liquid. But when it comes in contact with a magnetic field, it makes those super cool sculptures, kind of like in that sand timer, the magnetic iron timer, okay? Except it's going to be in a liquid form, all right? So I've got my magnet to create the magnet field. And I've got, you can use a lid of some kind, whatever. And then I'm going to take some different items and I'm going to attach them like that. And then I'm going to use my little pipette and I'm going to drop some onto the different items here. I've got drivets, I've got different bolts and nuts and things, okay? So I'm going to show you what it does. It's so cool. But if you don't have this ferrofluid, don't worry. If you happen to, I don't know, have a bag of iron oxide sitting around somewhere, or you can get a hold of it, it might be cheaper than getting the ferrofluid. You can just take this, which is the powdered form, and just mix it either with some water or with oil. Oil is a really good carrier for it. And then you can make your own ferrofluid, all right? But remember, it's black and it is super messy and it can stain things. So be really careful. Let's get some ferrofluid going. Something else really cool you can do with this ferrofluid? Watch this. I've got a container. I put some distilled water in there. I'm going to take some of my ferrofluid, my pipette, just put a little bit in there. And then seal it up nice and tight. I'm going to take my super strong neodymium magnets up to the glass. Watch this. How cool was that? Now remember, this ferrofluid, that's super messy stuff. The iron oxide, really messy. You get kind of messy with that. You get all black, but don't worry about it. Just don't wear white stuff when you're messing with that stuff. All right, so whether you are playing around with Ferrofluid and the different things that you can do with all the little spikes, or whether you are talking about the iron shavings in a timer and they create the different sculptures, or whether you just want to play around with magnets and their field, right? The magnetic field, and test out the strength of magnets that way. Iron is incredibly cool. It's really fun. And if you happen to have one of these little guy magnets, oh my goodness. Let's see what they can do. Oh yeah, he can hold one. Sure can. Let's see. How about these? Oh yeah, he can hold that too. What about if you need him to hold something else? And, oh yeah, he's a strong little guy. We can put all kinds of paper clips on him too. He is just super handy, isn't he? Magnets are so much fun. Remember, it all stems from from iron. Okay, it's time to go, but I can't leave you without some words of wisdom. What I call that wow moment. Okay, since we are talking about iron today, there's this saying, strike while the iron's hot. Well, I have a couple different meanings that I take from that. First off, it's really kind of a blacksmith when he's forging iron, right? It has to be hot in order for him to shape it, to make a change. So it's kind of like if there's something that you want, let's say you want to ask your parents for something, I don't know, borrow a car, an allowance, to get to do something, to get to buy something, or whether it's your boss and you want to ask for a raise, you need to strike while the iron's hot if you want change. So what that means is when they're in a good mood, that's the time to ask them. Strike while the iron's hot. But you see, I take another little twist on this because strike while the iron's hot. Well, when the iron is hot, you can make change, right? Okay, so let's think about this. Back to my iron. Now, if I've got some wrinkly clothes and I want to iron them, I want to make them nice and smooth, right? If I try using it like this, ooh, this is not hot. Am I going to make change? Nope. You got to plug it in, people. Come on. And then, you know, if you want to use a curling iron, right? You got to do it while it's hot. If you want to change your hair, whether it's a straightener or it's the curler, I don't care what it is. If you want to make that change, you got to strike. You got to use it while it's hot. Guess what? It's not plugged in. It's not hot. I can't do anything like this. We can't do anything like this. The iron needs to be hot to make some change, right? Go make some change out there. This is Mama P telling you to go do some science.